Right.
We pray. So to turn the corner and to think a little bit more broadly about some other things that are happening in society. Tekashi 6ix9ine got released as a technicality.
I thought he got out because of COVID. Was it
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Technicality because of COVID.
Wow, how did no man?
Yo, they let out old boy from BMF this week too.
Really?
Because of COVID. Yup.
See, I don't mind that one. It's just my background. I don't mind that one. But the Tekashi thing is crazy because, all right, so when I've been looking at the CARE Act for COVID-19, they're saying if you're over a certain age, that kind of stuff. I feel like he's young. He got good lungs. That's, you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
I'm not
yeah.
saying make him just stick it out, but I got people I've been talking to on JPay that's trying to get out
Facts.
and pick away right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how did he get out?
Because he's a celebrity, bro. Like let's just say what it is.
I'm more than a celebrity because he's got certain people in positions of power and money that could have got him out.
So why didn't Bobby Shmurda? Is Bobby Shmurda out
They
yet?
didn't let Bobby out. I need some Bobby music.
He gets out. Him and Rowdy, they both get out this year. They both get.
Okay.
That was like 10. That's
My
been 10
time
years.
flew. Well, for
I mean,
us,
for
it
us,
did.
yes. For them, it didn't. But,
10? It's been 10?
well, technically, like by jail, because 10 years technically isn't
Okay.
10. I think in jail terms, 10 years is like 8. 85%. Yeah, 85% of the time. So
Crazy, dog.
Yeah.
Like I just
and Bobby was dancing on the table for the label like that. Come on, like cut.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is he got any people in power to on his behalf? But Tekashi, I feel like serves. We can't go into this right now, but he serves a different kind of purpose. It's a deeper, darker criminal link.
I was
like,
getting ready to say that.
He definitely like his projection to the culture. You know, it serves a purpose in presenting our culture in a certain way. But I'll leave it at that. But like in general, just the whole element of snitching. You know what I'm saying? Like the moral dilemma of snitching. Like Armand, you had the best way to frame the question about how should we or how can we process the Tekashi situation.
Are you talking about what I said on social media? Or are you talking
When you
about...
texted me earlier about like, you know, just talking through hip hop's obsession.
Yeah, so hip hop has this like selective morality thing
Yes.
where hip hop is, you know, misogynistic and it preaches black genocide and poverty and all these things. I'm not saying like let me just say this, like all three of us are children of hip hop culture. The way we
Straight up.
dress, the way we think, all of that is birthed out of hip hop culture. So I'm not about to be C. Dolores Tucker or one of these other people who just throws hip hop in the trash. I know y'all love C. Dolores Tucker now, but my generation did not like her or Reverend Calvin Butts because they were the first ones to come out and just completely disown and dismantle hip hop. But
It's Ben Carson now.
Right.
it's Ben Carson now. You know what I'm saying? Like whoever. So, but I'm realistic in now as a believer, as a mature believer, because of course all of us have had. And I don't know if y'all, but I'm assuming that y'all had the one point in your walk where you threw out all your secular hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Shout out to G. Craig Lewis.
You know what I'm saying? So we all had it. And then the comeback is always weird, where you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
At first it's kind of haughty and prideful. It's like, you know what? Jay just came out with a new album. I want to listen to this Jay-Z album. Like, I'm going to listen to it. I heard it's crazy. I need to hear that.
Yeah.
And then as you get older, you get more mature in your faith. You're grounded. Your foundation is shaken. You're able to take and listen to and engage certain things as they are. You don't take it as gospel the way that you did when you were younger. So you're able to like, you can even nitpick and find things. Like, okay, I hate what they're talking about. It's detestable and deplorable, but like from a technical standpoint, he is a great rapper. Or I really like his production, or I really like how they're branding themselves. Like whatever we find in that, and also as hip hop artists, like we do that as well.
Yeah.
But I share that to say there's this thing where hip hop and just people in general, like they won't do that. The same thing that they expect us to do as believers, they won't do the same thing. Where it's like if there's certain things that you do, it's just an automatic, you're cut off. So I can rap about killing people, I can rap about robbing people, I can rap about all this crazy stuff, but don't snitch. So I'm seeing like this haughty stand of morality by these people, and I'm like, yo, like we're all listening to the same music here. So why is this dude public enemy number one? Because if he's gonna be public enemy number one, it should be a whole bunch of rappers on the front line that you should be going at. If that's the case, like, why is snitching the thing? I don't know. And I legitimately asked, and I didn't get a straight answer. I got the few people that did respond, they gave me runarounds. I would love to know.
Go ahead, you felt a way about his freedom, so.
Well, I think culturally, when you look at, you know, snitching, when we go all the way back to Freeway Ricky Ross and kind of how he was utilized by the CIA as somebody who was able to pretty much bring detriment to an entire race and community. And I think the evil in quote unquote snitching, when it was used like that as an informant, is that, you know, the government was using our people against our people when they were the one who established the evil rhetoric in the first place. And so I think, you know, when you look at it from a systematic and from where it stems from, I think it stems from that particular place. And so when all you've learned growing up is your parents tell you, well, stop tattletelling, right? That's something that we learned growing up. Don't tattletale. You're being a tattletale. So it's one of those things from culturally that it's been entrenched in us growing up. And now it's become a business, you know what I mean? Like when you look at even all of the famous movies that we see or the TV shows, The Wire, like, you know what I mean? Snitches have been paid really good money to do their job. And when you look
at the Bubs.
Right, the Bubs, right. When you look at federal indictments and all that kind of stuff, like, you know, the informants are being paid big money to do this. And so it's now just a part of the culture. But we've been taught from a young age not to tattletale, and I think it stems from the fact that the government has been able to use snitching to get our people to turn against our own people when they established or created, you know, the whole process in the first place. So that's how I kind of went to it.
That's super dope, bro. That's a dope perspective. I just finished with season 3 of Snowfall. Okay. So like the whole, I'm like right there with the Ricky Ross situation in the CIA, and you're right, like, you know, I don't want to spoil it, but at any event, he, you know, there's an arrangement with a CIA agent where supposedly this presentation of patriotism, like you're serving the greater cause of America, and you're trying to influence international affairs. And the way that this gets funded is not through federal tax dollars, but with drug money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you actually create agency for poor people to lift themselves out of poverty by also pushing other people down. You know what I'm saying? Or enslaving them to a certain kind of drug. You feel me? So it's like the tension that you hear on Jay-Z's American Gangster album. You know what I'm saying? Because Jay-Z understands it from like a fundamental level on all layers. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I can even hear Jay wrestling with his own conscience as he's talking from these different perspectives. I know what I'm doing, but I have to do it. Like, you know, because I can't just let them kill me off and make me meaningless in society. So it's a sick thing to really wrestle with, because it's like this thing that's implanted in our minds that sounds moral. Like, you know, it's like, you know, if you watch The Sopranos and how upset they would get when they found out somebody was a rat. Because the principles was like, you knew what you signed up for. You got into it, and the principle is you're ready to take everything that comes with it. Yes. Because you saw and you made the decision and you entered into this life.
But that's the thing, like, so everybody hits you with that. Well, you knew what the game was. You knew what it was going to be. But snitching is a part of the game. Like, it's a part of the whole process. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody has allowed themselves to make a career off of that. And so if hip-hop and our culture is all about hustling and about finding a way to make money out of nothing, then some people have found a way to make snitching their hustle. That's right? Real. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's a slippery slope.
Absolutely. Because there's that mob guy who, like, now he does interviews with, like, Reddit and all that. And I end up finding his in my, like, related videos, whatever, my algorithm, his stuff pops up, and I end up watching it because it's fascinating, because he's in the game, which leads me to my other point. Yav, you broke it down fundamentally. Taylor, you expounded, like, both of y'all was talking about people who are in the game. I think my problem is that a lot of people who are, like, doing all the finger pointing, they're civilians.
Yes.
So
America.
yeah.
Like,
you know what I'm saying? So I feel a way if we doing something and one of y'all snitch on me. Then I have every right to be upset because you knew what you got yourself into. But if I saw your robbery on YouTube, if we committed robbery and somebody saw it on YouTube and then they felt like, oh, this is terrible. They like you not even in the game. You watching. Like you're way out of here. And maybe it's because people have such an invested interest in hip hop, especially our culture. Like you get anybody in the room, as we get older, I'm very particular about who I talk to about hip hop because opinions can get crazy.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you know what you're talking about, and that happens with theology, and I'm sure like anything, one of my beliefs is that everybody's a nerd about something. Like there's something that everybody is just entrenched in. And those dialogues can get really, really touchy. So it seems like, because to your point, how snitching was just like, it's just engrafted in our society from the time we were children and just how we were raised, so is hip hop. So when those two things come up, I mean, you thought about when you said the merchandise, I thought about the Stop Snitching t-shirts. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I first came out, when I first visited Colorado, or Ohio for the first time in 2005, so all I saw was snowman tees and Stop Snitching t-shirts. That's all I saw. So it's in our bloodstream, many people.
And it's so wild, bro. Like, stop snitching to protect what? Like, because it's presented like people are suffering, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop snitching, families are breaking apart. It's just like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you gotta at least come to yourself, like, because I was talking to one of your homies in the red hoodie before, because I asked him about what he thought, and he was just like, man, I know people in the gang here in Columbus that's snitching, like currently. You feel me? And people are looking at them as if they like these leaders or they got money and they out here just controlling things in the way that they see fit, but they out here telling.
When I tell you it is a career path that some people have made a great career out of, and it's just a part of literally the structure of criminal enterprise. Snitching is a part of it. You know what I mean? You look at even the American structure. You look at the White House. Snitching has been a part of the White House, you know what I mean? And in every single administration, there's been somebody who's made a career off of telling.
Yeah. Tell all books.
Tell all books.
That's right. Barbara Walters interviews, absolutely.
They just find a way to monetize it, and we as a community find a way to down the person that has done it to get themselves out of a certain situation.
Well, they're doing it now even with the coronavirus. Like, there's people who are trying to come out and share this inside information about what's going on, and they're being downplayed because obviously, like, this time of the coronavirus it's considered a public health issue, like an epidemic. So you coming out and saying, but there's something deeper. Like, right now, it just is like, fam, we can't hear that right now. Like, we're like, the economy is shut down. You feel me? So it's not the time to profit off of an idea. And I think that that's the way it gets regulated. You know what I mean? Like, if it's an optimal time for capitalism, then sure, let it fly. You know what I'm saying? Let the conspiracies flow. But if it's not a good time, then there will be all measures of power and authority enforced against you for trying to tell. You feel me? Like, because it's not profitable for everybody. Or it's not profitable for the system to literally put this out right now. It's a timing thing. So come back to us in a year or so when we're ready to make movies, when we're ready to put this on Netflix, when we're ready to like sell some books and integrate into the social media discussion, but not right now. Like, we're still in the thick of this and we're still controlling the minds of the public. So it's so interesting, like, how we go from Tekashi 6ix9ine to this broader picture of the system of America, like capitalism and understanding like really what's at stake, because morality's not at stake. Money's at stake, you know, power's at stake.
And I wish prison on nobody, so I don't take that as I'm sorry that he got out for real. But you know,
let's figure out how to monetize it, make it y'all's point, make a career.
So I guess I don't know how smooth it'll be for us to just cut right in.
Yeah,
We just,
I'll make it work.
yeah, okay.
You could, I guess we could cut it. Do you know what you was gonna say when you said I don't wish prison on nobody?
Yeah, I'll just go back to that shit. So I don't wish prison on anybody, but my biggest thing was just how did Tekashi get out of all people? You know what I mean? Like, how did they pick that particular person under this COVID-19 banner to be able to get out?
I think it's because he had certain people in power who have certain monies and certain agendas, and I know agenda is like a bad word that we use. That's like the tinfoil hat word is agenda, but I think
This whole thing is a tinfoil.
and it's fine. So, you know, Tekashi is under a certain group of people. He signed that record deal while he was in jail, and those people want a return on their investment because I know those lawyers weren't cheap, and probably to get him out of jail wasn't cheap. They probably had to pony up a lot of money, so they're like, yo, we need you to make that money back that we spent on you. That's his recording budget. You know what I'm saying? So the same way, so even if he has this epiphany in jail where he feels remorse and conviction and he wants to, you know, turn a new leaf, he can't now because what got him in jail was acting rowdy, doing all this crazy stuff, telling people, you know, I'm glad your brother's dead, and you know, all this other crazy stuff he was saying and doing or whatever for the clout, all the stuff he was doing, that was still making him a lot of money or making those other people a lot of money. Also, when you get into it and when you think about it, it's like he has introduced a certain group of people to a certain lifestyle. So not only do you have the powers that be who are paying you, writing your checks that are expecting money because you're making them money, now you got your mom, you got your brothers, you got your homies, and they're expecting a certain lifestyle. And they're like, no, you can't change because I went and bought this $1 million house that you're helping me pay for. Like, I need you to finish that. So he, I'm sure, has a lot of pressure on him. So of course he gonna come out the gate swinging and saying all types of crazy stuff because that's his moneymaker.
And he's so young, and there are just a lot of ways that he's probably looking at life right now that isn't even fully formed. So it's not really looking at the big picture because you're not even developed enough as a human being to understand the things, the consequences, and the cost that comes with that. Yeah. So it's you know, in one sense, to your point, he's an easy target, but then in another sense, like there's a lot of potential and possibility and growth that hopefully we can see down the line that he can school other people on as they learn how to navigate this whole business. But it's just different in general, man. Like, you know, there are ways that people get platforms now that it's it's just unthinkable from years past us being like the older guys now. So yeah, I mean, it's just what it is.
Speaking of platform, you talked earlier about academics and this whole movement he has.
So I don't want to throw Tekashi under the bus and say that this is the only type of snitching. So when you think about it, like Tekashi's not the only like crew or instance that he was part of, non-Trey and all that, where they was, you know, all that stuff was on tape. Like, yo, it's people, I'm not gonna blame academics either, but he's created a style of video that has is now standard on the internet for like hip hop information and hip hop news and how to present it. And what these guys are doing now, with, there are certain crews who are beefing with each other, and when they beef with each other on records, they call it like keeping score. So if I kill a member of your crew, I'm up 1. If you get back, then we tied. And so what's happening is they're talking about this on the record, on their songs and all that stuff. Like, it's not alluded to or anything. But what these videos are doing, the videos they'll take your Instagram live, they'll take your song, they'll take the snippet of your song where you said what you said, and they'll line it up. They'll take the video that people have, fan footage, y'all fighting at the mall. They'll line it all up to like basically the police is like, well, bro, what am I getting paid 80 grand for? Like, you're doing all the work for me, and they're not sitting on the stand like Tekashi is. But to me, there is literally no difference between that and these YouTube videos. It's the same thing. So I'm like trying to tell these kids, like, yo, like, even the ones that's in that life, like, bro, why are you putting that out there? Like all the gangsters I knew, everybody I knew who was really about, I found out who was really tough because the ones who was really tough never wanted to fight. They would always try to diffuse the situation. And I never realized that, like, yo, this person turned up on you, why are you saying, yo, chill, like, it ain't gotta be all that? And then they would be like, all right, and that would be it. I'm like, oh, that's why. And the people who were super loud and all that stuff and crazy, they was the one like, don't kill me, bro, don't shoot me. You know what I'm saying? So this is a whole thing now. It's the same thing.
And I guarantee you, we'll find out years later that there was an internet task force of, law enforcement who hired people to go and get the footage and go and put things together. I guarantee you, there's money in it.
That was the hip hop task force in New York, right? Yeah, same thing.
Okay, I guess we got to book that, and that's a COVID community prophecy. So if you're looking for footage, you're looking for any evidence that this was said and put out in the atmosphere, that you heard it here first. Or maybe you didn't hear it here first. We just decided to be brave enough to put it on camera. But at the end of the day, we really, like I say, we're the older guys. We got to be OGs to these younger guys, younger people in general, just to kind of think about life differently and more expansively, and be more responsible and understand that there are principles that they can apply now for the way that they live, the way that they interact with other people, the way we love one another and show love and care for our communities. So these aren't things that we draw back from or withdraw from, but like y'all said earlier, we got to engage and understand so that we can properly equip the next generation to be better, or to at least to understand their responsibility and their role to contribute to better things. So with that, we're going to close out the podcast, but we got a few more businesses that we want to shout out. We got to support black businesses, especially during this time. It's important for us to spotlight them. So who else we got?
We got Soul Classics on High Street. You got Creole Kitchen, Mount Vernon Avenue, Lachey's on Morse Road.
Ena's
is good.
Ena's.
Definitely restaurants, man. Gotta support black restaurants.
Man, that put me on, because I be complaining to my wife, yo, I want some real soul food. I don't know where to go. I just end up quitting and going to City Barbecue, and I don't want to do that all the time.
No.
I know.
Don't do that.
I know.
That's where I seen you at City Barbecue.
Yeah, like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Flavor 91 for sure.
Flavor 91.
Absolutely.
91. Main Street in Whitehall for sure.
Yep.
That's what's up. Well, listen, thank y'all for joining us. This has been another episode of COVID Community. Y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. Peace.